You are now listening to Tired and Triggered Podcast, produced by Guerrero Film Company.
Hey besties, welcome back to Tired and Triggered, where we're doing our best to be soft, graceful women in today's society of 2025.
That's hard.
It's hard. It's very hard, especially when we're extremely tired and triggered.
Which is 90% of the time for me.
Yep, and one inconvenience away from completely losing it. But we're going to talk about what it means to be a woman in 2025. So the good, the bad, the absolutely exhausting, because let's be honest, the glow up is glowing. I definitely feel like 2025 version of me is probably the best version yet. I still have a lot of healing to do, some things to change, but I feel like as far as where I am that I previously was, I feel like I have grown a lot. I found my voice in a lot of ways.
Which is awesome.
Cut out a lot of toxic people. I, am starting to finally, I'm almost to a year postpartum with Maxwell, but I feel like I'm finally starting to find myself again when you're in the trenches of having a newborn and trenches of postpartum. I feel like I'm finally just getting...
Because for you, it's hard because it was like you were just postpartum and you were pregnant
my
again, so you really didn't have like a rest, part.
So we started over with, just fun fact, we started over with Julian. He is going to be 3 in July, and Maxwell was completely not planned, and we actually tried for over a year, almost 2 years, we tried for Julian, and then Maxwell came like that, no surprise, nothing, but I was dealing with a lot of thyroid stuff that we didn't know about at the time. But yes, 4 kids, not on my bingo card for 2025, but here I am, and
a boy mom.
All boys, yeah.
I started over again too.
You did?
You
really started?
I don't know what I was thinking.
Ever and Birdie are the same age, but yeah.
Oh, so Ever and Everly are 8 years apart, but Everly and Nemo are 13 years apart.
Yeah.
So it was like I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
So I had Julian when Elijah was 7, and then hell, I found out I was pregnant with Max when,
within,
was Julian even a year yet? No. He was just turning a year, something like that. I don't know, but
you know how we used to make fun of you, like, are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? Are you
oh
pregnant?
my gosh, yes.
And then here, like, I feel like whenever the boys are like, hey, come over, we need to talk, or hey, are you gonna come?
It's all Jordan's pregnant.
I'm like, oh, so I'm like, okay. And then that day, but I did not expect it at all whatsoever, because Andy's always like, hey, come over, we're gonna eat or whatever. So and then I see the baby's big brother shirt. I'm like, what the?
What was funny is Karen held him for a hot 35 minutes with the shirt that said Big Brother and never even picked up on it. She's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What's wrong with his shirt?
Yeah, she literally was like here with it. And as soon as I got there, I'm like, did anybody else see this? Am I missing something?
Right.
But I think your body was like just healing. And
too many hormones. And then, I was dealing with postpartum with Julian, and it was one of those things like we had tried for Julian. So when we found out I was pregnant, it was very emotional and exciting. Where Maxwell was not planned. And it's not that it wasn't exciting. It was just a total shock. It was not something I wanted. I was not prepared for it. So I feel like maybe somebody else can resonate with this.
You were very graceful, though. You did it very gracefully.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have done that.
It was hard.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I cried.
Having kids, period, is hard.
I cried for a long time. And then there's that guilt. That you have, because it's like, it's a baby, why am I not happy? And it's not that I wasn't happy, it just wasn't part of my plan. But I do feel like there's probably women out here that can resonate with that. So if you feel like that, no, you're not alone, because I really struggled with that.
Yeah.
I truly did. There was that mom guilt of Julian didn't have enough time to himself. There was that mom guilt of,
he wasn't the baby long enough.
We had just made the decision that we were going to homeschool the kids, and then I'm like, here I am with 3 kids now.
It
was just like, we knew we were going to be moving, so we had took our kids out of private school. It was like this big thing. Like, our whole life literally shifted.
In
But now that I'm finally getting out of the trenches of that, I feel like I have just been in
But you
probably.
and Andy do like such a awesome job at like
We
being
tag team very well. I am very blessed with a hands-on husband. My parents compliment him all the time when it comes to that because typically guys are like,
Whatever,
hands off,
do
you got the
you,
diaper.
yeah.
I'm the breadwinner. You stay at home. No.
Yeah, I'm the like you said, I'm the breadwinner. I come home and I relax.
Yes,
but he's
like that's
not
your
like
job.
that
That's
at all.
mine. No,
Not
my.
at all.
But in that same sense, my husband came home to a wife who was completely distraught, mentally, emotionally, and he's like. And he also knows because when he's got all four by himself, he's like, how do you do this all the
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
So he's very empathetic with me with that. But I am very
Kudos
grateful that
to
I
y'all,
have a
both of
husband
y'all.
who is extremely hands-on. But it's unfortunate because a lot of people don't have that.
And not just saying, not just saying because he's my brother, but he is a very good human being.
Oh, yeah.
He's come a long,
very long way. You're
both of y'all
welcome.
have.
I'm just
Both of
like-
y'all have come a very, very, very
Yeah.
long way. But it does depend on who you marry and who your partner is to how they kind of form themselves, whether it be for the good or the bad. Because if they have bad wives that kind of just like accept it and let it
Right.
be. And they
Well, that's
kinda
the
be
problem.
like,
Some
okay, well, here you
people,
go.
some women create their own circumstances. You allowed that
Create
for
their
so long
monster
and then
of
expected
husband.
him to just wake up and be everything that you wanted when you've allowed it,
like
you
that.
know?
Especially y'all being so young, though.
Yeah.
Especially y'all being so young.
I saw, well, and then not only that, but he came into a relationship of, we had previously dated in high school, but I had Brody when we had gotten back together. And so he went from having no kids or responsibilities to a girlfriend with a child and then becoming a father himself. And then he was just in the era of his life where he had no reason to have any
Yeah.
responsibility,
He
and
was
it
in his party
showed.
hardcore,
Yeah, and
drinking
it showed.
hardcore.
So he didn't have friends that really rallied behind him and had his back and wanted the best for him. It was kind of like friends that took him down all the time.
And took advantage of him a lot because he's very giving. And, he was working really hard. Like, he didn't have no kids. He had no responsibility.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like he was paying for everything, and they knew that, so they kind of clung
Oh,
to
yeah.
him because he was, doing the parties, giving the beer out, the alcohol,
Well, it was just
the
like, let's all
things.
go out, let's go to the bar, let's go
And
this, and then here I am home pregnant,
Yeah.
so it didn't click. And then it was like, I was labeled as the toxic
The bitch.
girlfriend, the bitch who took him away from all his friends
y'all
and all
are
these
both-
things, but
y'all
let me
both
tell
needed
you though,
each other.
if my husband didn't finally get put in positions to where he had to make decisions on whether I'm going to be with my family, make my family work, or I'm going to still be a good friend of these people, he would have nothing. I don't even know if he would still be here.
No,
because
and I've always said he'd probably be dead by now, dead or in jail.
Yeah.
For a long time because y'all came a long way, but it really
have.
takes a good woman to have a good husband, a good
Yeah.
boyfriend, a good
Well, and it's like, and it's not just like, oh yeah, I fixed him,
No,
because
no.
I did a lot of work on myself too, and he actually had to put the work in to do it. I can't force anybody to do anything, but just know that I think where we're going with this is who you marry has a big thing. And I actually saw TikTok this morning, and it was like a woman and her husband in the hospital after having a baby, and he's like helping her put on the diaper and changing her pads and all these things, and it's just like these things, it matters who
It
you
does matter.
marry.
It
It
does
truly
matter.
does.
That's when try to be in the hospital or try to be in a hard mental space. You will know if your husband's really a good husband or not.
Right.
Because I had 3 C-sections with my 3 children, and I've had many surgeries. I was never sick when I was little. Once I had
It
babies,
all hit in
it
adulthood.
all was like, so
Everything
it's like
came
I had
out.
surgery after surgery after surgery. It was a long time. I suffered with diverticulosis for a long time, for a couple years before I
Yeah.
had surgery. And every stay at the hospital would entail a week to 2 weeks in the hospital at a time. So he would literally come home from work, shower, go, and he wouldn't even eat, go, and he would spend the night with me, leave at 3 or 4 in the morning, go back to work, do the same thing until I was out of the hospital when I had my babies. And the first baby, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. Both of us were new parents. He had
Right.
no previous children. I had no previous children. So we didn't know what the hell. I was thankful for my mom the last two, Everett and Everly, he helped me. He was
Yeah.
my biggest supporter. He was literally, who would imagine you at 20 something, 30 something years old having your husband put your diaper on,
Right.
helping you put your pads on,
It's
helping
so
you put
vulnerable,
your underwear. Yeah. And I
right?
felt like, are you sure? Like
Yeah.
sometimes, when you have a C-section, it's hard to kind of like,
Yeah.
so he was literally wiping my butt. When I had to go to the bathroom, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Are you sure? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
Well,
My
and
sister,
it's
my mom
funny
helped,
how
but
we're very apologetic about that, and they don't care.
No,
But
he's
it's
like,
like we,
"Shut up," and, like,
but it's
pulling my
just
diaper
like
off.
we do that for our kids, like we're their wife. Like there's been so many circumstances, like especially with childbirth and stuff. I was just like, oh, I'm like so modest with my husband.
Yes.
We're married, and I'm just very modest in
Yes.
general, and I was like you, like,
feel
oh my
so
god, I'm so
vulnerable.
sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
oh,
so sorry you have to
yeah.
see that because you're gushing blood out of everywhere. You're doing
Yeah.
the things. You're basically another baby too because you got to wear
Well,
the
then
diapers.
you worry though. You
squirting
worry
milk.
about insecure. It brings insecurity
I
because
don't
you're
want
like,
him
will
to
my
look at
husband
me
ever
any
look at
other
me
way.
differently?
Yes.
Will my husband look at me the same after this?
And
And
it's-
it's just like those are things that you don't want to lose in your marriage.
And he's like, "Shut up! Like this is normal. Like
Right.
you literally just had my child and had major surgery
For better
so,
or for worse,
yeah,
right?
When I was taking a shower, he would help me, do other things. So I'm very grateful for my husband. But if he wasn't the person he was, he would just let me be. And because they have men that are like, I don't care if you gave birth. I don't
Right.
care if you just popped the baby out. Like, I don't care. Do it yourself. Figure it out. But
Yeah.
he was always there for me. So very grateful. But you have to kind of mold them.
You
They're
do.
very moldable.
Yeah.
And men are very moldable.
Look,
Whether you do it
ask-
for the best or the
You need some
wrong.
fixing advice? Call me.
Yeah. Yes. I had a
Um,
lot of fixing to do. It wasn't easy. Trust me.
No, but so okay, in today's world, there's a huge. We kind of touched base on this on self-sabotage about how we constantly compare ourselves to other women, but social media is a huge thing. Everybody's posting everything. People are very open about plastic surgery and fillers and Botox and things now. Like that's like a
Implants.
normal thing now that kind of I feel like used to be like frowned upon or hid. Like people didn't
very
want to
taboo.
admit.
You didn't
Yeah,
wanna
they didn't
have-
want to admit that they had lipo or all these things. Like I feel like being a woman in 2025 has come a long way with those things.
Now they vlog and they do a whole get ready with me telling you how
Yeah.
the surgery went, what kind of implants they got under the muscle, over the muscle, what doctor. And before it's like, you would ask if they had fillers. No. And
Yeah.
when they couldn't even move their eyeballs, like,
Right.
bitch, you did get fillers. Come on now.
But I feel like it's also hard though because I feel like it's hard to be a woman in those and deal with those things because you constantly compare.
Yeah.
Some people can't afford those things but don't want the wrinkles or you
What
see.
woman wouldn't want to look perfect for
Right.
her husband or for herself, really?
So I feel like it puts a lot of pressure on you and a woman in 2025, especially just like your husband gets on Instagram. There ain't no telling what teeny
pops
tiny
up.
little models he's looking at, and it's just like as a woman who's had children and who is not happy with their body or is dealing with body dysmorphia or insecurities or all these things, like those are things that you kind of think about.
Because they do have, and they're the very lucky chosen ones that pop kids out, and literally within a week they're back to the
Yes.
flat tummy, no
If
stretch
you're
marks,
one of those
no
people-
cellulite.
You're a bitch.
Bitch. Yes.
I feel like you can kind of compare yourself to people in every aspect. Like it's kind of toxic, right?
Very
like
toxic, yeah.
so like TikTok is huge, like vlogging and all these things, and you see people like doing their shopping trips to Target, and they're how many people really can't even like it doesn't fit in their budget to do those
Can't
things,
afford to
and
do
it
it.
almost makes you wonder like if they're sitting back, like what they're thinking or the headspace that it puts them in, right?
And most of the time, at least for me, and I know you do it, and but most of the time, I will think 3 times about doing it, to buy it, to really, or I'll go back several times. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it this time. I'm gonna get it this time. But I walk in the kids section or
Oh my
the
gosh,
men's section.
yes.
I'm like, oh, my husband can need this better than I really don't need those jeans. My
Yeah.
husband needs the work pants or the new shirt.
The
or the
mom
kids.
never leaves because let
No,
me tell
never.
you, me and my husband had our first night out in
I saw that. I saw that. I was very grateful that y'all got to
Do you know how
that.
many times my husband had to pull me out of a kid's store? It's just natural.
And,
like we went to the mall.
Can't switch that off.
Yeah, we went to the mall in Hattiesburg, and you know, it was our first time at that mall, and we're kind of walking through, and they had these cute little kids boutiques and stuff.
And those are the best.
Every time I would see a kid's store, I'd walk directly in it, no thought. And my husband's like, we're here for us. And it's just natural. Yeah. Now, he had nerve because when we went to the Lucky Rabbit and went to, like, they had a pop-up event.
Heard that. Where's
that
at?
Yeah, it's in Hattiesburg.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's really cool. Nice. If you've never been, you should go. It's, like, basically, like, 2 buildings that are, like, a huge flea market. But the first weekend of every month, they do a huge pop-up event. So they have, like, some beer vendors, wine vendors. A little bit of everything. And my husband bought my son an LSU hat. So I'm like, it's not just me. It's just, like, the parent in you never leaves, even whenever you're, you know.
And I can go and buy them $100 shoes, but I want a $30 shirt, a $20 shirt. And I'm like, nah, I don't really want it. I'll come back later. And I never do because I feel so guilty because I would rather have them. You know, and girl moms, man, I don't know how y'all do it. You get in big trouble. Like, that's how you're lucky, know. But
I do have bougie. I do, and my kids are pretty bougie.
Very
they
bougie.
Want like that expensive camo stuff, like
the shoes but
for boys they're expensive.
Very, very. And I have one girl, and I told my husband whenever we found out that I was pregnant with the girl, we're in trouble. Because if your boys are spoiled and they're bougie, your daughter...
My husband wanted a daughter so bad. But now, looking back, because with our last baby, we were team green. We didn't find out what we were having until birth. And when we realized it was a boy, there was a part of me, I'm like, I wonder if my husband's sad. Because I know he always kind of longed for having a daughter. All right, y'all, let's take a quick break. This podcast is brought to you by Guerrero Film Co. I'm Jordan Guerrero, co-owner, as well as the owner of Jordan Guerrero Photography. If you have an event coming up, a wedding, milestone portraits that you need done, or even branding content for your business, go check out our socials and let's get you booked.
Hey, y'all, for all your concrete needs, Dry Stick Concrete is the way to go. Give us a call or text for a free quote, 985-969-8016. So we have, it's 4 of us siblings, and we have, we're about to have 11 kids between the 4 of us. 11 kids. I know, that's crazy. 11 kids. And out of the 11 kids, we have 3 girls. Yeah. The rest are boys. Yeah. So the girls that we do have, they're very cherished, very loved, very spoiled by everybody. Very spoiled. Yeah, all their uncles. So me and Jordan always say, good luck to the girls trying to have a boyfriend, trying to go on dates.
They have so many big boy cousins that are not going to let that happen, as well as dads and uncles.
And if they try to sneak out and do it, somebody's going to tattle. Oh, yeah. One of the boys is going to find out. They're either going to be in the same school, around the same school,
all the girls are screwed. They're screwed. Okay, so woman 2025, not even just the 2025, just being a woman in general, the mental load, exhausting. The emotional load, exhausting. Like the load of having to, as a wife and a mom, keep up with everybody's schedules. Yeah, it's hard. Everybody's everything.
As a woman, as a mom, as a sister,
you do it all. You're the do-all.
Yeah, literally, I'm walking out the door and I have to make sure I have the diaper, the shoes, the bow, Ruben's keys, Ruben's this, Ever's this, Nemo's that.
I have to keep track of my shit. I have to keep track of my kids' shit, and I have to keep track of my husband's shit. My husband's like, "Where's this?" I'm like, "On the dryer, on this, on that."
How do we remember all that? Sometimes I sit back and I'm like, "What do they think I write everything down?" He's like, "Where's my purple sock that I wore Thursday in 1975?" It's in the second drawer on the
right-hand side underneath the purple one.
And then guess what? They'll go look for it, and it's not there until you go do it. Look for it, and it's right there where you said it was.
Exactly. I know it. So there's times like, I want to go out and do things. I want to do all these things, but my anxiety does not allow me. My anxiety's like...
And how silly is that? Because before...
I don't know how I used to do the shit I did once.
I know you said you were a wild child when you were young. And it's like,
I mean, you're talking about... I was like underage with a fake ID on bourbon, living my best life. Mom... Fast forward, please. Living my best life. I mean, like, literally at Saints and Sinners, like, people probably thought I worked there, okay?
So and you've always said you were a wild child.
I was wild. Now you can't even, like, I can't even go to Walmart without being anxious.
No, I get really bad social anxiety. Like, I have to make sure I have the correct change. Like, if I know how much I'm going to spend,
Yes.
like, make sure I have enough. If, like, look, and there's been many times, sis, that I'll go to, like, the Mexican store, and if there's too many cars and I see too many people coming in and out, I will not. I will sit in the parking lot until there's enough people that have left.
Yeah.
Or I just don't go, and I'll call my husband and be like, "Hey, can you pick someone?" He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's either that or you don't eat.
Yeah.
Because I cannot go.
See,
into
my
the
thing
store.
is, it's just like
Walmart's
going to the
awful.
store. It's like packing 4 kids in my car
No,
and go
it's
with myself.
hard.
Oh my God. And you know what's crazy? If you're a mom of multiples, you might feel the same way. But I feel like it is harder to go through a store with 2 than it is 4.
Really?
Because Birdie and Elijah, especially Birdie, like, he's like a mini dad, y'all. Like, he
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah,
like
yeah. He's
so
always
helpful,
been
and
like
he
that.
wants to be helpful. Like, he voluntarily wants to help. So, like, sometimes just having that extra set of hands is
Very
amazing.
grateful, very helpful.
And me
yeah.
and Andy talk about this all the time, because you know how you had talked about being the oldest
oldest,
sibling and all the responsibility you had. That's my oldest.
Yeah.
He's like,
He's such a great kid.
he
though.
really
He's
is.
like
He
a little old
truly
man in a
is.
little kid's body. Honestly, if
But
you
you
ever
would
know him.
think, like, that going through a store is harder with all 4.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like, Birdie knows, like, if I'm buckling the kids in the car seat, like, he knows, like, I watch my mom's back. Like, he's
Mm-hmm. I
looking
got
out the
it.
car.
Oh,
He's
as
looking,
sweet
like,
as that.
he's making sure no one's approaching the car. Like, he's all those things. Like, when I don't have them, I'm just me and
Yeah.
myself. Like, I'm
And
I'm
I feel
screwed.
like he sees that in Indy, and
Yeah.
he's like, my dad does it.
I know
so I'm gonna
he
do
says
it
all
too.
the time, like, when Indy's working, like, he says all the time, like, when he's not home, I'm the man of the house. Like, and I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, I
And he
love
says
it.
all
I
the
love
time,
him.
like, well, when I have kids, like, he wants to be a
Yeah,
daddy. Like,
yeah.
I know he's going to be a good daddy one
dad,
day.
yes.
He's an amazing brother and an amazing son, but
Nephew,
he's
child,
really,
is a child all around.
he's really, like, he never ceases to amaze me sometimes.
I love him so much.
I
He's
do
just-
too.
Like I said, he's like a little old man. If you've ever met,
He's a
Birds,
very old
like,
soul.
He's a very old soul. It's like a little old man trapped in a
Kid's
in
body.
A kid's body. So it's
Yeah.
like, but he's like, he'll come and he'll be like, what can I help you with? You
Yeah.
know, what you got? And,
He's
and
very
he's always
helpful.
been, and he'll do that before he'll go play, or he'll make sure that all his brothers are
Yeah.
good and his cousins are good before he goes and does what he
Elijah
wants.
needs to pick up a little bit on his ways. He's
That boy,
just,
he don't give a damn.
he does
He
not
don't
give a
damn.
shit.
He has
But
no
we're
sense
working
in
on
his
it.
body. Like
No.
as long as he's okay, he's
He's
peacing
good.
out. Bye bye. He don't give a damn.
It's a mess.
I think he's a mini version of Indy when he was little, because Indy was just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
well, and he's like
He gives no shits about
that
nobody
it's and it's kind of a problem. But at the same time, he worries about everything too. So it's
It's
crazy.
like if it's not one extreme, it's the other. But he's just and it's funny how each one of our kids has a different personality.
right.
It's crazy because
It
they're
is.
kids. You know, you would think they're all like monotone, like but every kid has a different energy, a different vibe, a different like what they like to do or whatever. But
So marriage in 2025. Do you?
it's so hard.
It is.
Marriage
In general,
period,
it's
yeah.
work. It's a job. It's a lot. But I feel like having all the outside aspects and social medias and stuff
now
like that.
social media will ruin a marriage.
Oh my
It will
God,
cause
yeah.
a divorce.
And it's
versus
like it's
before.
something as simple as liking another woman's picture. Like,
I'm sorry. You do that. Me and my husband have butted heads with that because I find it disrespectful.
it is very
I
disrespectful.
find it very disrespectful because
Now that's
don't
like
do that.
Me.
To a certain extent, because
Right.
I like to look at guys like on TikTok, the guys that are dancing or the guy.
Yeah.
I like to look at that. Like we all have eyeballs. Like I'm
Right.
sorry, but tell me if my husband's gonna do that, I'm gonna take the eyeballs out of his head. Like can't do that. It don't work like that. Which
Right.
I know is not fair.
No.
because we all have eyeballs. We all like to look and
See,
it
and
looks
I'm not.
nice.
I mean, I guess
I like to look at it. I just say
I personally, and I'm like, if I told my husband this, he'd probably think I'm full of shit. I don't even have enough energy for my husband half the time. I could give a shit
Yeah.
about anybody else.
Yeah.
Watching
Yeah.
them, looking at them, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm in La La Land all the time. If I don't have my kids, I'm not occupied with my husband or my kids. I'm like,
But
leave
you know,
me
like
alone.
on TikTok when you're like scrolling
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm not gonna hurry up and scroll because he's
Right.
sitting next to me. I'm
Oh,
gonna look
no,
at it.
that-
things
hell
like
no.
that. Yeah, but as far as like other things, no. Like
Yeah.
I barely like my husband himself. Like, well, I don't want nobody else.
I don't have time for that.
It's like, I don't have time for that. But as far as like, but respectfully, I like, some men, and that bothers me, Jordan, so much when they're like just say at a restaurant, and they have the men that don't care, and they literally will, like, you'll be sitting, like, their wife or their daughter will be sitting right next to them and stare at the butt and, like, or the breast, and just, like, follow them all the way till they sit down. Like, that is very disrespectful. I will knock you beside your head. Like, don't
my
do that
husband
to me.
will. I don't know how many times my husband has out loud publicly said, like, you got a problem? Like, you got a staring problem? And I'm like, please don't start.
But y'all, like, literally, me and Jordan, we were out for my birthday. We went to the Hard Rock Casino.
Oh, God. Don't remind my husband.
When I tell you that guys have no... like,
awareness
they have no
of
chill,
when
like,
someone
when
is
they
like
say things like that.
uncomfortable.
And she is very she respects herself a lot, and not because I was there. Like, she's always been like that. She's said herself. She's
love,
very
like,
modest.
I'm very
She's
loyal to my husband, and
very.
he wasn't even my husband at the time, was he? No, but
and we were sitting there, but like, I mean, it was like they were lining up to talk shit to her. Not shit, but like, you're so beautiful. You want to dance? You want me to buy you a drink? You want me to do? And I'm like, y'all.
But
like,
it's so...
back the fuck off.
I was engaged.
Yeah, and
because I had a ring on because I was like, no, like, I'm good. And I'm not saying that like to brag about me or anything at all, but I'm just saying they don't get the cue of like when you're extremely uncomfortable.
And then
they
have
just
like one or two that was like, oh, I'm so sorry. But the other one's like, I don't care. I'm not
they're
jealous.
like, is he
shut
here?
the hell up.
And I'm like,
that's disgusting.
No,
like,
it's so disgusting. No, and remember when you were standing by the bar, somebody walked behind me and literally grabbed my behind. And I'm like, who just walks up and gropes a woman in 2025 where it's like people are screaming sexual assault and things? Like, I feel like there can be a lot of competition in your marriage of like who's tired, who's done more, who's more tired, who's I'm going to work, I'm not.
Like a tick for tat shit.
Right.
I don't like that. Like, we both have our own things that we do because, again,
well,
I
it's
think
like
I've said
I
it
couldn't
before.
go to my husband's job and do his job, but he could never do mine either.
Not at all. And that's why it's like, that's the only thing that me and my husband kind of maybe struggle with a little bit, because he's like, well, I already did this. It doesn't matter. Like, again, I could never be in the Louisiana heat.
I'm sorry. I just got a notification. Someone in Iraq is trying to get into our Facebook.
Oh.
I said, no, it's not me. Al Kut, Iraq.
What the hell? Yeah, I don't, that's the only thing that we kind of have like a little ongoing argument about, because he's like, well, no, I couldn't do the Louisiana heat for 12 to 15 to 18 hours a day. I could never do that. Kudos to everybody that works, period, because it's hard to keep a job or, find a good job. But we are blessed enough to have our concrete company, but I could never do the stressful things that he does. But he couldn't sit at home and
with the kids
do what
all the
we
time.
do, deal with the school and the missing the bus and the homework and the sports and he could
making
never do
the
that.
appointments, keeping up with the appointments.
He can never do that.
He
So
can't
it's
even
like,
keep up with his own shit.
Kudos to him, and then he should kind of give kudos to me for doing what we do, because at some point I was working and doing the mom thing, and that shit's crazy.
That's hard. Look, I worked in the medical field, working shift work. I did Monday through Friday. I did both with 2 kids. It's never easy, especially because daycare and kids in school, they're always sick, and it was always one of those things, like, it made more sense for me to call in for my kids than my husband, because he made more than me. And then it's, then it causes this conflict in your household, because you're dealing with the things like, well, it's like, I've got to call into my job again, and I got to take the heat with my coworkers and my boss.
And we can't drag work into home and home into work. We can't do that. Like, it's a no. And it's crazy. Working in the medical field, you have to either deal with sick people and deal with people, period. And whether they have a good attitude, a bad attitude, an ugly attitude, you have to deal with it, because you're
and then
the
you
one
carry
working.
it home, like, you don't leave that shit at the door.
Like,
you should leave it at the door, but you don't. Now, a big thing for me is now I'm no longer in the medical field. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I do have a videography and photography company, and now we're doing the podcast stuff. And I feel like with that, it's like when my husband's home, it's like you're always on your phone. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm booking clients. Yeah, I've got to make content to promote clients. Like, yeah, I've got to be on my computer to edit sessions. And it's nonstop. Like, when you own a business, your job is 24/7. And sometimes it's hard in my marriage to explain that, because it's like, well, you're done with your session. I'm like, yeah, well, guess what? I've got to import it. I've got to edit it. I've got to, send it. I've got, and it just, sometimes it's hard to get on that. And I'm trying to get better about posting content because I do things that are on social media. Like this podcast stuff is all on social media. So it's like I've got to put the work in. I've got to make the shorts. I've got to do the postings. I've got to advertise. I've got to do all these things. And unfortunately, that means being on my phone.
And y'all, she's awesome. And I don't know if I say it enough, but I'm very grateful for you.
I appreciate that.
And that that I'm very grateful for you. And I know y'all, she works really, really hard. It's a no stop zone over here. Like if she's not working on the podcast, she's working on her photography. If it's not the photography, it's the videography and all that on top of 4 kids and a husband that's very needy. The husband, not the kids, the husband. So it's like 24/7. So I just want you to know that I'm very appreciative.
I appreciate that. That means a lot to me.
It just takes
and same
a lot.
to you, because I know, like, yes, your husband does all the hard labor work, but you do all the stuff behind the scenes. You make a lot of that happen too. Yeah. And you're also a mom and an amazing sister-in-law and sister and friend and just all the things.
Being a human, period.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It is so hard.
But you add the kids, you add the husband, you add the family.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. But
it's real easy to be tired and triggered. Hence, tired and triggered.
Very easily. But it's very hard. It's very hard, period, to be a woman. Hard being
I want
human.
y'all to know, though, that that's what the main and sole purpose of this is. It's just so you know and feel like you have a community, because I feel like there are a lot of podcasting is a big thing. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that do it. I follow quite a few. I have a couple friends and people that I know that have them. I feel like it's a big thing in today's age with social media, and we can all eat. Just
be original.
Be
original and
be authentic, and know that this is to build a community, to not feel alone when you are feeling tired, when you are feeling triggered. And there's going to be like a mixture of things. Like we're going to have some funny, light things. We're going to have like some serious, deep, raw things. There's going to be some stuff in between, but just know that this is kind of, this isn't even just for y'all. This is a lot for myself and for you, and therapeutic for like us.
How do you say it?
A breath of fresh air for us. Yeah.
We get to spend time together because now she lives in fucking the BFE.
Yeah, I do.
So we don't get to see each other a lot. It's
we get to spend some time together, unload, have a little vent session, and then we're kind of just sharing it with you. So like we always say, our DMs are always open. Reach out if you have any ideas. I'm going to try to start putting some engaging posts out there so we can kind of see like y'all's opinions on things and things y'all want to talk about.
Sis, and let them know about our launch party.
Okay, so Saturday the 29th in Hammond, Louisiana at the Great Proper Room, we are having a launch party / pop-up vendor event. We're basically just celebrating the launch of our podcast. We want to celebrate with you guys. There will be like some mimosas. I think maybe some wines. There will be
a lot of exciting things.
Permanent jewelry, tiny tattoo artists, car freshies, some
desserts,
sweets and goodies. Yeah, a variety of everything. So come hang out with us. Loaded teas. Come celebrate with us.
It would mean the world to us.
It would. Come take some selfies with us, advertise with us. But I appreciate all of you who listen, download, subscribe, like, comment, share, all the things.
We would love for y'all to come. It would mean a lot to us, like I said, and I feel like it's it just makes us feel better.
It does.
It makes us feel good.
And feel like we have a community.
To see the community kind of come out and appreciate us.
And especially moms. It is a all-ladies event, adults only, no children, just because we kind of want to have some time to ourselves. Sit back and relax and mingle with one another.
So tag people so they can come. And
bring a bestie.
Make it a girls' night.
Make it a girls' day. Grab your besties. Come sip and shop and celebrate the launch of our podcast with us. And we will see you next week. Bye.